In this video, we'll begin working with real datasets by learning how to import and export data in R. Public health data comes in many formats, including CSV files, Excel spreadsheets, and statistical software formats such as SPSS and Stata. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to load these files into R and prepare them for analysis. In public health, data is often collected by different institutions using different tools. Surveillance systems, surveys, and clinical studies may all store data in different file formats. Being able to reliably import data ensures that your analyses are reproducible, transparent, and ready for collaboration. Before importing data, it's important to understand where R looks for files. Your working directory is the default location where R reads and saves files. We can check the current working directory and set it if needed. Organizing your project folders early will save time and prevent errors later. To check the working directory, I can run this quick command, getwd. R tells me the folder on my computer where it's currently looking for files. This is important because when I import or export data, R assumes the files are located right here, unless I tell it otherwise. Now we are ready to start importing files. CSV files are one of the most common formats for sharing data. We'll use the readr package, which is fast and user-friendly. After importing the file, we'll inspect the dataset to ensure it loaded correctly. This includes checking column names, data types, and the overall structure. To import CSV files, first we need to load the reader package. The way to do that is by writing library reader. But if you haven't installed these packages before, you'd need to run install.packages first, but you only do that once. After that, library loads them into your session. Now we start importing data. We use read_CSV to load the file called nchains_sample.csv and store it in an object named nhains_CSV. Think of this object as a table living inside R's memory. Right after importing, we use head to look at the first few rows of the data. This is a quick sanity check to make sure the data loaded correctly. Then we use str, which stands for structure. This shows us the variables in the dataset, their data types, and a preview of their values. For beginners, str is incredibly helpful for understanding what kind of data you're working with. Many public health datasets are stored in Excel spreadsheets. The readxl package allows us to import Excel files without requiring Excel itself. We can also specify which sheet to load when a file contains multiple worksheets. Here we use read_Excel. We specify the file name and tell R to read from sheet equals 1. The data is stored in a new object called nhains_Excel. Once again, we use head to preview the first few rows. Even if the data looks similar to the CSV version, it's good practice to check every import. Now let's move on to SPSS data. Statistical software such as SPSS and Stata are commonly used in public health research. The Haven package allows us to import these files directly into R. Importing these formats preserves variable labels and value labels, which are often essential for interpretation. After importing, we'll briefly inspect the dataset to confirm that everything transferred correctly. We use read_save from the Haven package to import an spss.sav file. The dataset is saved as nchains_spss. Instead of head, we use str here to focus on the structure, especially because SPSS files often contain labeled variables, which R handles slightly differently. After that, we import a Stata file. This works very similarly. We use read_dta to read the .dta file and store it in nchains_stata. Once again, str lets us inspect the structure and confirm that everything came in as expected. Finally, we export data. Once data has been cleaned or transformed, it's often necessary to export it. Exporting allows you to share results with collaborators or use the data in other software. We'll export a dataset as a CSV file, which is widely supported and easy to share. Here we take the original CSV dataset stored in nchains_CSV and write it back out to a new file called nhanes_exported.csv using write_CSV. This new file will appear in your working directory. Exporting data like this is useful when you've cleaned or modified a dataset and want to share it or use it in another program. If you encounter errors while importing data, don't be discouraged. Common issues include incorrect file paths, missing packages, or mismatched column types. These are normal challenges, and learning how to diagnose them is part of becoming proficient in R. This brings us to the end of today's lesson. In this video, you learned how to check your working directory, load packages, import data from CSV, Excel, SPSS, and Stata files, inspect datasets, and export data back to a CSV file. These are core skills you'll use again and again as you work with data in R. In the next video, we'll begin cleaning and exploring our data using tools from the tidyverse. This is where raw data starts to become usable information. Subscribe to the channel to continue the series step by step.